Hello everybody, it's SHAZIZZ here. What you're looking at is a Slayer exciter that was put together by Ryan Abrams over at Abrams Lab, based off of a circuit that G. Bluer did, called the Slayer exciter. Don't know if you can see that. That's a tip 42C transistor, a couple diodes, and a resistor. Primary coil, secondary coil. I won't go into all the specifics, but the diagrams are up on my website, SHAZIZZradio.com, in the Mad Science section. The reason why I'm doing this video is because there's a few turkeys like to give me a rash all the time, talking about how I don't know nothing about the Tesla coil and I'm afraid of them and such and whatever. It's about time people grow up, you know. So, with that said, I'm going to turn this thing on for a second. Hopefully it doesn't mess with the camera. If you notice, I got this little circuit down here, and it's not on because this bulb is coupled inside the field. But you notice the moment I take that thing out that it comes on. I also have this other nifty little circuit right here. See if we can get that thing to go. You'll notice that it's charging up the capacitors and getting a little blinking lights going on. And we got this nifty one right here, which doesn't want to cooperate. There we go. Blinking lights, piezoelectric crystals. And I'm trying to ground these with my finger. And we got this nifty one right here. I don't know how well you can see all those, but those are wireless circuits. And so essentially what's going on here is that tip 42C transistor is acting like a switch, a really fast acting switch, turning on and off, on and off, on and off, on and off, and it's pulsing the primary right here, which is sending a wave up the secondary. And normally in a Tesla coil you'd have the secondary connected to the ground, but in this particular circuit it's connected to the negative side on there. So anyway, it still works pretty much the same exact way. You're pulsing the field in the primary, which sends a wave out and starts to energize the secondary. When the secondary, the field in the secondary begins to collapse, another wave's already coming back in, so it keeps bumping it up, and then it'll send the energy out pretty much as far as that wave can go. Now, this particular circuit is moving so fast you really can't get too far away from this thing. Now if I could extend it out like that, I could get that field out there pretty far. I don't know if you can even see that doggone bulb lit up. Let me turn the overhead light off for a second. So you got a little blinky light going on. And actually farther away over here, this little LED circuit like that's lit up too. But you can see, I'm going to turn this light on for a second. That's about how far away I am off of that field right there. And what did I do? There it is. Alright. See when I'm close up there and I move back away, the field gets weaker the farther I get away from it. That's because that field is collapsing really fast. Now if you put a lot of power on behind there, you can actually extend that range quite a bit. But that circuit there is a really fast acting switch. And so it's turning it off and on so rapidly that the field is collapsing in on itself. That's why you can't get it to go very far. Now there's methods, like I said, I've seen them run these things up to 100 volts. Probably run them even further than that. But anyway, that's working on a completely different frequency. Every single Tesla coil out there, depending on how it's wound, is going to run on a completely different frequency. You can change that frequency, speed it up and slow it down by the timing on the spark gap. You got a wide spark gap, takes a little bit longer to get across there, then it's going to slow it down. The shorter the spark gap, the faster it's going to go, the higher the frequency is going to get. So in this particular case, you got a lot of windings on there. Alright, so you're getting a pulse from the primary with a few windings, which are thicker gauge wire, and that pulse is going up to secondary that is energizing the secondary, and as the secondary field's beginning to collapse, that field's still coming in, one right after another, and it's coming in rapidly, and so that's what raises that frequency up. The more windings, the more surface area you got, the higher that frequency is going to get. It's bumping it up. It's essentially an air core transformer. So with that said, let's get this out of the way. I'm making a mess. Alright. Now we'll put my trash coil in here. I call it a trash coil because I made it out of trash. Give me a drink of coffee. Made it out of trash. Got an old wire coat hanger. And I got a coffee container lid, plastic. And got some aluminum foil and some aluminum foil tape and some electrical tape and some clear tape. Put it all together. Well, some hot glue as well. And not to mention a paint can lid for my top load. Now keep in mind, you're not going to see a bunch of sparks coming off of this thing. It's you're not going to see no breakout like you would on a really high-powered or overpowered Tesla coil. But I'm going to try to show you something interesting so that you know there is wireless energy being transmitted from this coil made out of trash. Alright? Now keep in mind, these little circuits right here, we're working on that Slayer exciter, but they will not work on this. It's because it's a completely different frequency. Because instead of turns of wire that I got on here, I got one flat level just roll of aluminum foil under there. I put a insulator built it just like a capacitor. There's a layer of aluminum foil inside, then a layer of clear tape, and then a layer of aluminum tape. And then of course I got the electrical tape to keep this primary right here made out of the coat hanger from touching the secondary. And then up at the top load, it's connected inside with some aluminum tape, and there you go, there's the top load. So I'm going to show you this. I got a little 1.5 volt AAA Energizer battery that probably doesn't have much juice in it at all, but it's enough to do what it is I want to do, and hopefully this doesn't mess with the doggone the monitor again. Alright, so I got a spark gap over here, and I got a Maxwell capacitor, It's running in series from this side over here through that spark gap, in through the Maxwell capacitor, out to the spark gap. You notice this one here is shorter and has a shorter spark going across it, and this one here is longer and it has a longer spark going across there. So it changes the timing across the way. Now I'm going to turn this light off just for a brief second. You can see that spark going. And I don't know if you can even see that right there. Let me see. Alright. Now, that is a little fluorescent bulb. I'm actually grounding on one side and touching it on the other there. And I just got it up close to it. So while it's not powerful, you can see that it is getting some wireless transmission going on. But it's not the same. So let me turn this on for a second. I'm going to take this circuit right here. Okay. Got a short going on there. I want you to notice, got all these lights going. Now watch when I bring this thing in the general vicinity. Now you see, as long as it's in that field, it's knocking it down. It's also messing with my camera. So what you're seeing right there is the equivalence of an electromagnetic pulse. Notice how it gets weaker. The lights get weaker when I get closer to it. And I bring it out to you. You'll see that they get brighter. So there is definitely wireless energy being transmitted. It's just a completely different wavelength than that flare exciter. The closer I get into this thing, the farther I get away from it. Get it short again. Huh. Alright. So for those folks out there that said that I don't know what I'm talking about, you tell me what's going on there. Now there's a wireless transmission going on that's counterproductive to what this circuit's set out to do, which is charge up some capacitors and blink some lights. When I bring it into the portion of that field right there, you can plain as day see that it starts shutting it down. Alright, so that's pretty much what I wanted to show you. Outside of here's a wireless AC tester. I'll put it up next to the light. Now I put that same wireless AC tester over here. Turn that lamp off. See where the field isn't constant and it's not very strong, but it's still doing wireless energy. Just a completely different kind. You can see it's messing up my camera. Alright, let's turn that off. Alright, well, I'm going to pause this for a second and see how bad that messed up the camera. Okay, I'm back, and apparently didn't mess the camera too bad, but there you could obviously see some of the frames being jostled around. Also, I also noticed that I didn't have my ground connected, which is nothing more than a simulated ground to the little crescent wrench that you see right there. Give you another better look at the wire coat hanger right there. That's my primary, and the secondary, just aluminum tape and aluminum foil, a couple layers of it, and then a doggone paint can with some aluminum tape around it. So essentially, a Tesla coil, which isn't actually a Tesla coil, a trash coil, that was getting wireless energy transfer in a total different fashion than what you would expect from either a Slayer cider or a regular Tesla coil. So for those turkeys out there that always telling me that I don't know what I'm talking about, y'all just need to grow up, man. Do your own experiments and you know, get over yourselves. It's getting old. You know, I'm trying to show some people some cool things, and I'd appreciate just, you know, if you don't like my stuff, then head on down the highway, man. As far as me being afraid of a Tesla coil, that's stupid. I've been hit by a 20 kilovolt jolt, and I know better, and I know when to get out of the way. So, it's as simple as that. Laugh if you want, but if you're so brave, you go over and stick your tongue on that sucker. Alright? High voltage hurts. So yeah, I'm going to get out of the way. I ain't stupid. I'm 6'2". What do you think the shortest path to ground is going to be? That pole out there that's connected to the Tesla coil, or the freaking 6 foot tall skinny man? Anyway. So I'm going to fire this up one last time, because I didn't have my ground connected to it, and see if I can get this doggone light on there where you can see that it's actually lighting that bulb up to some extent. Don't know if you can see it or not. Let me ground to it. Yeah, you can barely see it. You can barely see it fluctuating. Once again, we'll put this other circuit in the path of it, if I can find it, in the dark. Plug it in. Alright, so there's our blinky light. Yeah, it's in the field. Right up in the field. Coming away from the field. Here's our blinky lights. Going back up into the field. Alright, now no matter whatever you want to call it, whichever frequency range it's in, it is wireless energy. You see, I don't know if you can even see that. Let me risk my camera for a second. Alright, you see that? This is my AC tester. It measures up to, let me see here. Says it measures up to 460 volts. Yep, 460. Let me see. Try this again. Yeah, I don't know if you can see that far back. But there is definitely energy on that top load. Alright, plain and simple. I got stuff piled in on me. I need to get back over to my lab. Let me shut that thing off before it drives me insane. If you think I'm stupid, then don't watch my stuff anymore. Don't come on my radio show or my website and give me a hassle telling me I don't know what I'm talking about. I just showed everybody I built a coil out of trash. Alright? Literal trash, and not even a fully charged AAA Energizer battery running a stove starter, a barbecue igniter, into a coiled up coat hanger, and energized some aluminum for the secondary, aluminum foil and some tape that is grounded to a monkey wrench. And you could see energy off the top load. You could also see it disrupting the circuit as I pulled it in and out the field. And so stop telling me I don't know what the heck I'm talking about. If you don't like my stuff, then go away. You know? I'm just a dude trying to help people out with some alternative energy ideas. You know, you grab these ideas, you take them, you run with them, whatever. And if you find an idea on there, because I ain't selling nobody nothing, if you find an idea on there and you like it and you go out and patent it and you make $1 million, I'm happy for you. I'm not in this to get money. You know, there's ads on my doggone YouTube videos. But it's Google's platform, and if they're going to throw a few pennies in my bucket, then okay. I can get some copper wire and make some more videos. But I ain't getting rich, that's for sure. And I ain't getting famous. So, with that said, you seen it. Right there, man. I call that my trash coil. Plastic coffee lid. Coffee canister lid. A piece of wire coat hanger, some aluminum foil, a paint can, and a doggone barbecue igniter circuit that I kind of beefed up just a hair with some capacitors inside there, and a battery that I'm positive isn't even up to full spec because I grabbed it off the table after it's already been used. So, there you go, man. To all the rest of y'all out there, thanks for supporting me in my experiments. I got a lot more stuff on the way, a lot more cool stuff on the way. And as far as all the trolls and the crazy people telling me how stupid I am, you explain why that circuit get knocked down every time I bring it near this thing. And then turn around and try to explain to me why you think I still don't know what I'm talking about. 1.5 volt AAA battery that hardly has enough juice in it, and junk trash coil and wireless energy transmission. Now, is it going to run your house? No. So, don't even start with it. This is trash. It's to prove a point. Peace and love, everybody. Stay tuned.